Hey, Planeswalkers, Mythras here. Hope you're doing well and staying safe. Today we got a top deck we're going to check out. One in the top 10 once again. And no surprise, Rakdos Sac it is. So a Rakdos Lurrus Sac here currently in the top 10. Again, Lurrus as our companion. Each permanent card in our starting deck has a converted mana cost 2 or less. So again, that's anything that's a permanent. So we can still play things like Call the Death Dweller because it's 3 cost, but it's not a permanent. Now, during each of our turns, we may cast one permanent spell with converted mana cost 2 or less from our graveyard. And I apologize, I got some sunspots here in my face. Anyway, with that said, let's see what else we got here. So this is a big one that we're adding in here, Archfiend's Vessel. This card's pretty sweet. Not only does it have lifelink, but the premise is once it goes in the graveyard, we can bring it back with Lurrus or with the Call the Death Dweller and get a 5/5 flyer really quickly. So it's a great enabler. That's a new piece with the core set 21 and the biggest piece that you'll see in this deck. Now, this one's got a little bit of an interesting mana base. There's 2 reasons for that, and we'll get into that here in a second. But just so you know, this deck list is available for you down below in the description. If you have questions or comments, please feel free to ask down below as well. So back to this. So the mana base looks a little interesting, may feel a little wonky. Now we have 22 lands. I would maybe run 20 in best of 1, but we're collectively looking at this other top 10 deck. The big part here and the reason why there's some of these other mana things is because of the sideboard as well as Fiend Artisan, just to give you some other options there. Now, quickly, let's take a look here at the sideboard. We got Blight Beetle. Where would you play this? Against mono green, any other deck that's got green, so something like a Bant. This is great against Euro. Also, it shuts down our creatures' opponents. They can't get +1/+1 counters, which is pretty interesting. You may see this more against the Selesnya decks that are starting to come up, so something to keep in mind there from M20 still. We also got Eliminate. So this is another pickup from M21. We can destroy target creature or planeswalker with converted mana cost 3 or less. So this is going to be huge for us. Really good against Azorius decks with Teferi. Also any fast decks, mono red, Mardu Knights, all those kinds of things. And I'm going to use some of these names that were current meta, and then as things kind of transform here, this is great against the Flyers deck as well. UW, the one that I just did yesterday. Noxious Grasp here, green or white. This is going to be for your Bant decks. I would also play this against the mono white deck. Also against Selesnya, that's popping up again with the counters that I just mentioned. And then the other piece again would be against any of those kinds of planeswalkers you may run into. Now, Tymeret or Tymeret, Chosen from Death. This is your exile from your opponent's graveyard. So you're going to want to play this in the mirror match. You're also going to want to play this against Euro. You're going to want to play this against the cycle decks if you happen to run into those. Embrace Shieldbreaker. This is perfect for a mirror match. This is also perfect against the Temur Clover decks that are still kind of lingering around. That's where I would play that. Drill Bit. This would be helpful. They're starting to become a little bit more control-y decks back out there. So, and also Winata. So be prepared. That's where I'd play this against the Winata deck. I'd also play this against the potentially the Orient Elementals deck. That also goes for Noxious Grasp and Blight Beetle there, where I'd play that. And this would be something against like a Simic Flash, and I would also play Blight Beetle potentially against Simic Flash. Now, Active Treason, not any time that you're going to run into creatures that are more than 3, you're probably going to want to play this against mono green. A lot of the stuff with the Mutate is 4, so it misses Claim of the Firstborn. All right, last one here is Mayhem Devil. So the trick with this is you actually remove Lurrus as the companion. Now you could side Lurrus back in, and then you can play with the Mayhem Devil. So it kind of will keep your opponent on your toes. Where would you play this? Especially if you get something to do a standstill. You may want to play this against like an Azorius deck, mirror match, all those things to kind of maintain board control. You may also want to play this against things like a mono red or some of the other aggro decks to keep them at bay, and like the UW Flyers deck that I mentioned now that's becoming very popular. All right, with that said, let's hop into it here quickly just to show you guys I am in the top 1200. I know this is a top 10 deck. Even though I don't play this one, I am going to go play some competitive matches and play. I know a lot of you give me a hard time for that, but that's what we're going to do. So, all right, let's hop into it here and do our best of 3. Quickly, I just want to say thank you guys. I really appreciate all your support. Like I said, recently we just cracked the 500. It's been fast. It's been furious, and I appreciate that. Now, if you're new or coming for a multiple time, please feel free to subscribe down over there. Would love to hear you and see you around more. All right, this is not a good start for us, so we're going to mulligan. This is a little bit better. We will keep this, and I will dump the Foundry, and we'll go from there. We'll go Gutterbones. Now, the one problem, 2 problems that we're going to have now, is Scavenging Ooze is a very, very good exile card in this shell right now. The other thing we need to be careful here, so this is probably is going to be, now we can take Barkhide. I don't have a sack outlet, and we don't have an additional one there, so we're kind of hurting on our mana base. We'll just have to be careful on the exile. That's going to be a big thing for us to pay attention to, that we may have problems with against Grapefang here. Minus Vivian now. Good news is we still have Claim the Firstborn.
This will be fun to watch.
It still would be better if we had a sack outlet, which we did not get. So we can double block here. We'll still have Death Dweller.
Watch out, they bite.
What do we have in here? We'll keep that. So Death Touch, I think that's got 1. We'll go there, Menace there.
I'm gonna love holding this.
And we're still in it. So now we'll start applying pressure with Dreadhorde. If they want, they can put a counter on him, but we'll see what happens. It will still make them smaller. So we'll do that. We'll get that on. And bring that back in. Now, we just got to make sure Pelt Collector is the one that does not get more on it. And there we have it. We took down a blue-green, so Simic, ozolith deck with our Sac deck. Uh-oh, server problems of course, as we all know. All right, we'll claim that. Let's see if we get something else. Boom, there we go. All right, on to our second match here with our top 10 Rakdos Sac deck. Loving it so far, and impressive that we were able to best that deck without a Sac outlet. So that was pretty big for us. All right, against Wandering Ones. Woo. Here we go. Now we got a couple Sac outlets here. So we'll go Castle Locthwain into Sacred. We can drop Dreadhorde if we want. So that hurts us. I think we go... Oh, tricky, tricky, tricky. Well, we can double sack next turn. So let's do that. If they're probably going to hit us with a burn. No, they're going to get greedy. That's fine. This is actually normally a decent matchup too for Sac against mono red. So interesting that we are not doing what we need to be doing. So we will do that. Not going to help us there. Very, very poor drawing. They got good stuff from us. Lots of good stuff. Lots of robbers. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. Ooh, that was good though. And nothing we can do. Alright, on to our third and final match here with the Rakdos Sac deck from Core 21. That's a top 10. So we're not able to overcome the mono red deck. They had a really, really nice draw that was very useful against us. if you don't want to cast a spell or activate. Oop, I missed that tip. Okay, here we go. Elementor. Elementor. Now we got sack outlets. We go first. We got a few things we can do. It's funny, it's always like you're the person that gets stuck by Claim of the Firstborn, and then when you play it, you don't get it. Alright, we will definitely do that. Now, if we play the Euro, it's going to go for them. So we got to keep that in mind. Let's see what we get here. 3. We'll play that next turn. And what do we got? Euro. There it is. All right, Sultai. Here we go. Ooh, there we go. Ugin. Oh, that's a bummer. It would have been nice to know if what it was and then used Witch's Oven, because I would have used it on that guy and then used Call of Death Dealer to bring him back. Dweller. So that's unfortunate. Because that still would have been game for us. Because we could have sacked. We would have got 2 more damage on there. Then we would have brought him back and had 1. So that would have been lethal. That's unfortunate. Now they have enough to bring Uro back. Yeah, I couldn't see the screen on that one. That's unfortunate. Too bad. Nothing like good old lessons learned. I have played this deck actually at Mythic a few times now. Here we go. So he needs to block there. To fill his graveyard, so that's why I'm going to sack that actually. Because I can use Call the Death Dweller next time. And give him Menace and Death Touch. But we'll see if they bring Euro back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's enough for Ugin. Search your library for up to 3 mono-colored cards with different names and exile them. An opponent chooses one of those cards. Shuffle that card into your library. You may cast the other's cards without paying. So let's see what we're going to run into. So let's do that one. And see how they play this. So on the stack. Thank you. And they're both even. And we should be good. Because now we can play Cauldron. And we'll have it. Boom. Whew, that was close. We should have won earlier, like I said. It was a misplay there on my end. Luckily, we were able to recover. So pretty awesome. Stay away from the server issues, man. Let's go back and take a look at this deck. So here we go. Top 10 Rakdos Sac deck. We went 2-1. We beat a green-blue Simic ozolith deck. It seemed like mono green. Lost to a mono red. And then, which actually is generally a decent matchup for Rakdos Sac. And then beat a Sultai ugin-ish deck. So pretty awesome. Very good for us in the best of one realm. Again, here is the cards for you in this deck. If you got questions, please ask down below in the comments. Always happy to answer. Additionally, deck list is available in the description down below. Here's the sideboard for you. And then be sure to check out some of the mythic best of 3 matches or daily 3s that I'm doing. I did play this one recently as well and went 2-1 in the top 1,000 with it. So pretty awesome, Planeswalkers. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel down over there. Would love to see you around more. Please feel free to hang out, stay a while, and join the community and stay in touch with all the new stuff coming out. So you stay safe, Planeswalkers. We'll see you again soon. Mythras out. Take care.